Many years ago, I lived in an area where there was hard, rocky ground and swift-moving rivers, rushing streams. As a result, there were places where the water would cut into a softer spot in the rock and over the years create a deep well. And you could be there on a hot summer day and use it as a swimming pool. Even on the hottest days, the water would be cool. And, of course, no small consideration in those days, it was free. Some of the places were quite secluded, known only to a few. Others were more popular. I recall one in particular where there were 3 large pools in succession, each at least a dozen or so feet deep, and separated by huge, smooth, humpbacked boulders, which were perfect spots for sunbathing or a picnic. There were many people there on a summer's day, but it was never crowded. There was an escarpment above one of the pools, the middle one I think, about 15 or 20 feet up, and if you were brave enough, you could climb it and jump off into the water below. If you were there long enough, you were bound to see someone make the plunge head first, like those cliff divers on TV in Acapulco. An unforgettable sight. It was a paradise on earth, a real retreat. I think it's true that everyone who came there treated it with something like reverence, out of gratitude for the relief it provided from the heat and cares of the day. It was a beautiful place to be. It was, in itself, inspiring. I began to feel better the moment I knew I was going there, and I was never disappointed upon arrival. Yes, it's not a stretch to call that place a shrine, but you did not worship when you went there. You gave thanks, and you were happy. People took a proprietary interest in the spot. They policed it. I saw a lot of stuff trucked in for snacks and lunches and dinners, but I never saw any trash or litter. One time we arrived and there was no one there. That was more than unusual. It was eerie. I hadn't seen that before. We climbed down the rocks to the stream and found out directly why this was so. Someone had smashed some bottles of beer on the rocks and done a thorough job of it. Maybe with 6 bottles, maybe more. There were glittering glass shards everywhere. The bottles had shattered like bombs, scattering needles of it everywhere, leaving no safe place to put a bare foot. And closer inspection revealed this was also true of the pools. In the clear water we could see that the rocks on the bottom were covered with bits of glass. And that was the end of that. That was the last time I went there. In my life I have seen other instances of similar wanton destruction. I have heard that rape is not about sex, it's about power and violence. What happened to that swimming hole was a rape. I don't know why anyone would do such a terrible thing, to cause such irreparable damage. Whether it was just a casual, offhand, thoughtless act, blind immaturity, or whether there was more to it, if it was a vengeance of some kind that had been done by someone who felt deeply cheated by life and was evening the score by ruining something that gave others pleasure. Life is hard, in any case, and it seems an especial shame to add to its difficulty by destroying one of its treasures, making it unavailable to anyone else. I doubt if that swimming hole is there now. The stream itself is probably gone, diverted to make way for development. But I remember it as a veritable wonder of the world, and I remember what was done to it, a small bitter reminder of what people can and will do. Given enough time and opportunity, it's a mortal lock. Someone will wreck what you love.